morning. I believe it's the 25th of March, and I'm looking forward to sharing some of the things that are touching my heart and mind. This is going to be about faith versus fear, the difference in the energy force. This is going to sound esoteric. It's going to sound humanistic to some, but I think it's straight down the line with what God was teaching Abraham and how Abraham was blessed because of his faith. So now we hear this word faith, and we kind of know what it means in an idea, but in the actual practice of faith, with COVID and the vaccine and all the rest, I have seen little faith in the hearts and in the spirit of Americans, especially Christians. They get overwhelmed when things don't go a certain way, and then they park, or they go and find a spot to park, and I would call it their little happy place, and it's a religious place. It's a place where they sit and they think about, well, at least I'm going to heaven. God has a plan. It's not terrible. It's better than being depressed and having to take medication. But it's not the ideal. The ideal place is the place of faith. You cannot quantify, I cannot quantify the power in the human body of what faith does. Real faith, real confidence, real belief in God and in yourself, and in when you pray for people. When you apply your faith, your confidence to that prayer, there is power. And I know there are also times when you just pray the words and you don't feel it and it still happens. That's called obedience. What I'm talking about is faith as a real, tangible thing. A thing that you can measure in the atmosphere or inside yourself in some molecular way. What actually happens to your blood? What actually happens to your strength and energy if you apply faith to a situation, whether it's a health situation or a financial situation or a relational situation? Faith will move the situation in a positive direction, period. Doubt and fear will move that situation both on a physical level and in a real, tangible, outward level, like with the situation, like what comes at you outside of you, like a virus, like someone who has perpetual fear that they're going to be robbed, or they're going to be, if you're a woman, you think you might get attacked. There is such a thing as the very thing you fear has come upon you. And there is a relationship between what you think about and, of course, what you're afraid of, and that very thing happening to you. And I don't even want to get into it, but my mother, I would say, prophesied her death when she was younger, because she would say this certain phrase over and over and over again because of her frustration with how things communication-wise were with my father. And she prophesied herself into an early grave by her words. So now today, 2021, as God starts teaching us about faith again, the Abrahamic faith, the faith to follow an invisible entity with a voice telling you to go 600 miles south, and that you're going to be a father of nations, and you don't have a kid yet, a boy, because you need a son to be the father of other sons. Abraham had a real, powerful, tangible, intense faith that allowed him to conquer his world. And eventually, after 25 years of struggle, he got the supernatural boy named Isaac through his actual wife, Sarah. So when we, coming back to our time in COVID, it's like a litmus test for all humans everywhere, all leaders everywhere, all doctors everywhere, all nurses everywhere, all parents everywhere, all school administrators. You present COVID, you present the idea of a pandemic, you present mandates as an idea, vaccines as an idea to manage it, and you can get lost in the details. You can get lost in the medical research, you can get lost in the viral research, how they make viruses, how they move around. You can get lost in it. You could spend weeks, months, and then you can go get a degree in it. But that doesn't fix it. That's just information about it. That helps. But faith, simple, childlike faith, to believe that if God is greater than any virus, that you can walk in health. I know that's controversial, but I want you to consider it today. The power of faith. It can be applied to many other areas of your life, especially people that are in a performance world. Like my son's a baseball pitcher is getting at a higher and higher level. And I keep telling him, faith on top of skill is unstoppable. Skill, preparation, all these things. But if you couple that, tie that to faith in belief and an intense competition, what can stop that? Nothing, right? So if you're building a business, if you're struggling with a big family or kids or whatever, and you apply faith that God is with you, that He's going to show you how to handle the situation. If you're a doctor, if you're a mechanic, if you're a pilot, if you are a project manager, try it. Try applying God and faith to your battles with the things that you have to do every day. Faith. Faith, if you're in sales, that God has a purpose in every sales call. You're going to learn something from it. You may not make the sale, but you're going to get to know somebody. You're going to meet somebody. It's not about you. It's not about how much money you're going to make. It's about just doing your job the best that you can do. So today, try faith. Work it out. Apply belief and faith to what you do and see if you can literally feel a difference. God bless.